Oh, Dennis, I just don't know what to make a video on today.
Well, the centenary is in right now.
Yeah, but I kinda covered that a lot yesterday, and I don't know whether I've got any more ideas for it.
Why don't you come up with an idea, you useless piece of scum?
Oh, Dennis, you silly head. You're tuned into the Cyber Network. Surely you can give me some idea.
Ugh, fine. What about talking about your hopes for the centenary?
I've got it! I'll do a video talking about my hopes for the centenary.
Kill me.
Hello everyone, welcome back to another video, where today we're going to be talking a little bit about my hopes for the Centenary special. But before we get into it, if you could do me a teeny little favour and click that subscribe button, that'd be ever so much appreciated. We are trying to get to 16,000 subscribers before Power of the Doctor comes out, so if we could get there, I'd be very much appreciative of that. We're about 30 odd subscribers away from 15,800, so that would be greatly appreciated. And if we get to 16,000, I'm going to aim for 20,000 by the end of the year. If we get there, I don't know, I'll fly to the moon or something. Also, go follow me on Twitter if you want to. The link to that will be in the description. I also have a PO box, hence the packages, which I'm planning on opening on probably a live stream very, very soon. But with that said, let's get into the video. So my first and foremost hope for the Doctor Who Centenary special is that one of the characters either dies or has a dramatic exit. And by characters, I'm referring to main characters outside of the Doctor, because we know she's gonna die. But I mean either like a companion, major character, because we haven't really had that in this era before. The only companion departure we can fully analyse from this era is the Graham and Ryan departure in Revolution of the Daleks. Now, I've made no secret, this is by no means my favourite companion departure. I've always found it a little bit flat, a little bit, oh, I'm just gonna leave now. Okay. I want something a bit more impactful. And I think a death would be a great way to achieve that, because we haven't seen that in the Chibnall era Doctor Who. And as well, people say that the Death Troupe is far too recurring in New Who, but if you actually look at it, how many main characters in New Who have actually died? Moffat had a weird thing with it where, they sort of died, but they sort of didn't. So, Amy and Rory, yeah, they died, but they also got to live out their lives in, the 1900s or whenever it was. Clara, yes, she dies eventually in First the Raven, but she basically has her body stopped, so she can basically travel on for as long as she wants, so long as she eventually returns to Gallifrey and her original point of death. She basically gets her own TARDIS and companion to boot. And Bill, well, she gets turned into a Cyberman until the Puddle Girl saves her in the end of Series 10. So we haven't had an honest-to-God companion death in the revival. Even the likes of Donna Noble, while yes, it's incredibly sad when her memory gets erased, that's still a memory wipe, it's not a death in the traditional sense. So I think a companion death would be a really cool thing. I want it to happen. If I had to guess, I would put my money on either Dan or Graham, mainly because I think he's probably not going to kill Yaz, mainly because I think there would be backlash due to the whole Thousand thing. So I think maybe killing off Dan or Graham would make the most logical sense, because Dan, obviously, he's only been around for a few episodes, and it might be quite sad if he never got to Diane, or, it could elicit some emotions. And then with Graham as well, he's been away for a while, so it would be interesting to see if he popped back up. Maybe this would be his undoing, perhaps. Although, I'm not counting on that on the basis that we haven't seen him in, much of any of the promotional material. So I'm not going to count on him, being a major presence in the story. My second thing that I'd like to see from the Centenary is I want to see the full regeneration. I've seen a lot of people rumouring that, oh, it's just going to cut to black. Please don't do that. Me personally, I hate it when we don't see a full regeneration. It kind of irks me, even though I completely understand why that the War Doctor's regeneration isn't complete. We see John here begin to change to Christopher Eccleston, and obviously because Christopher Eccleston didn't want to come back, completely understandably, it cuts off just as you can sort of see Christopher Eccleston's face being CG'd onto John Hurt. But I want to see the full regeneration from Jodie to whoever else. Be that Tennant or Gatwick, I want to see a full changeover. I don't want just a cut to black, see you soon. That's all, folks. I want a proper, ending. I want a proper regeneration, starting from Jodie, ending on whoever it's going to change into. I just really want a full regeneration. Third thing I want is that I want all the major plot points that he's introducing to connect and make sense. Now, that might seem like a bit of a low bar, but with the paintings being stolen, the bullet train, the Dalek contact thing, and the Rasputin thing, I want them all to connect organically. I don't want me sat there going, what was the point in this? I kind of was with, say, the Grand Serpent in Flux, where you could kind of cut him from that story and pretty much nothing would change. I want all the things he's going to be adding to the story to connect in some way. The fourth thing I think I want is I just want Ace and Tegan to be done well. Now, I've done a whole video on Ace and Tegan and my kind of concerns of bringing them back in. So I'll leave that in the card in the corner if you haven't seen it. But I just want them to be done well and given enough to do. The same goes for Kate Stewart. I'm really worried with how many characters we have that it's going to be a similar situation to the likes of The Vanquishers or Revolution, where you kind of just have people stood around not doing a lot. And I really hope that's not the case. I hope if you're bringing back Ace and Tegan that they get to do a lot, especially because we haven't seen these characters in nearly, 30 or 40 years, depending on which one you're talking about. And luckily, from the trailer, it looks like they're getting stuck in. We see them shooting, we see Ace parachuting, we see in promotional shots, we see Ace with her baseball bat. So I just hope they get plenty to do and are written and, done justice, I think. Okay, so that brings me on to my fifth hope, which is basically just that I hope that they do something with the Timeless Child. The Timeless Child is by no means one of my favourite sort of plot elements. I find it to be quite a cumbersome story arc, and I struggle to see a lot of what the point of it was. But if you go back into a recent issue of Docu Magazine, he said that there wasn't planned to be any answers. I really hope that isn't the case. I hope we get something. It's difficult because on the one hand, if you give too much, then it kind of ruins the mystery. On the other hand, if you don't do anything with it, people are going to go, well, what was the point in that? I just hope they do something with it. I hope it's not just left there. Because even though I don't like it, I want it to have some sort of resolution. Although I don't know how much time he's going to have to do that, given all the other things that are already in the story. And I guess the sixth thing is, above all else, I just want to have a fun time with it. I have my issues with this era, but at the end of the day, I just want to have a good time. Like, RPD2's on the way. I'm not looking for anything too deep at this stage. I just want a fun time. If it can keep me entertained for 90 minutes, I'll be happy. Just keep the pace going, keep everything, on track. Try and give the things that need the attention that they need. Give Jodie a decent send-off and, I'll be happy. We can go into RTD2 singing at the top of our lungs. But with all that said, let me know in the comments below what your hopes are for Power of the Doctor. Like this video if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, and I will see you later. Also, Chris, please don't erase the rest of the timeline. I've seen some people speculate that. Please, for the love of God, do not erase the rest of the timeline. Please control yourself. I don't want the entire history of the show up to this point to be erased. Please do not do that. That would suck. Yeah, don't do that. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.